Good morning. My name is Fred Trotter, and I'm a healthcare data journalist with CareSet. And this is the Datapalooza stream. Purpose of the stream is to allow people who were not able to make the conference to hear some of the speakers that were at the conference. We had a great time at the conference, but we did arrange for some of the speakers to be interviewed afterwards. And so over the next couple of days, we will be releasing some of the speakers from Datapalooza, and I have one such feature here, Linda Chen, who I will ask to introduce herself and her company, which has an interesting name, Jon Snow. And of course, the first thing I asked when I heard that name is that a Game of Thrones reference? So, Linda, is that a Game of Thrones reference?
No, it is not. Hi, Fred. Good morning. This is Linda Chen. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Jon Snow Labs, and the reason we called ourselves Jon Snow Labs is it's actually the name Jon Snow is based on Dr. Jon Snow and in England, who was able to use data to find out and identify the source of cholera outbreak in the 1900s. So he's been credited as the father of epidemiology, modern epidemiology, and the ability to actually leverage data to solve public health problems. Our mission when we started the company back in 2015 is to empower more Jon Snows, Dr. Jon Snows of the world, to be able to make a healthcare impact in the world, leveraging our ability to provide them with the state of the art language models to extract insights from unstructured text data. We have a very niche mission from day one, and we've been very successful in growing and becoming an extension of many healthcare companies' data science teams and providing them with these with the NLPs and large language models today in just specifically tuned for healthcare purposes and usage. So it's been great to have the opportunity to speak today and share with you more about what our company does.
Thank you. So you were in the pitch tent, and I think just more generally, I should ask what brings you to Health Data Palooza?
Yes, it's my first time to the Health Datapalooza conference. In the past, I have attended other conferences, but have not had a chance to attend Health Datapalooza. I was invited to speak. From basically our partner AWS, who has been very accommodating in actually working with us, small companies, and many small companies like us, and definitely us as still a small business, to sort of bring and promote what we do to the wider community. And we, through our partnership with AWS, they invited us to speak because we're really as an innovator in the generative AI space, and at the pitch tent specifically, what I wanted to talk about was with regards to the advancement of generative AI and large language models. There are a lot of new issues that need to be addressed, and one of them specifically is really regarding the latest recent law that prohibits any usage of healthcare AI tools to have programs that is biased and unfair in nature in terms of the healthcare providers' practices. And to do so, what you need to start from the beginning. How are these AI models being built? And one of the things that I speak about was with respect to responsible AI and putting together an automated framework for testing fairness and biasness in any text-based language models.
This sounds amazing. I have been telling just about everyone who will listen to me that in 50 years, the only job is making sure that the AI is right. So it sounds like you're way ahead of us on that particular perspective. When you think about that task or other things that your company does, are there particular healthcare data sets that you are interested in or important for your work? I imagine that to the degree to which you're working with large language model, text corpuses are important. Are there some that are specific that you care about?
Yes. One thing that is slightly different for John Snow Labs is that given our intent is to provide state of the art language models for the various health organizations to use and be able to achieve and deliver the highest level of accuracy on their development of NLP pipelines. We typically we tend not to leverage and use any data that any type of data that customers actually own. So to us, we're always constantly looking for more data, like you mentioned, text-based data, patient notes, nurse notes, discharge notes, any type of written healthcare documents that is publicly available. So publicly available typically are used and shared among academias. We try to basically get hold of more, and we also work with the various agencies, healthcare agencies that are taking the initiatives to make data more publicly available, and with that, we're able to the more data that we can gather that's publicly available, the less we have to get into dealing with more synthetic data. Synthetic data is another way for us to leverage to build models, but there's definitely downsides to using synthetic data. And at the end of the day, what these models that we build, they are built so that it can be tuned. And we do recommend that our customers who use our NLP models will take the time to actually tune it on their own data sets so that they can capture the edge cases and the nuances and specialties to the way that their doctors and nurses write that might not have been trained in our model because of the data gaps. But overall, we're always wanting to be involved in the opportunity to open up more data that's available for public and academic use.
So, kind of related question, what potential recent or upcoming healthcare data policy or technical changes do you care about? I mean, obviously you're talking about AI, and a fine answer is AI generally, but is there more specific changes that you think are coming down the pike that you think are going to be really interesting?
Yes. So it's interesting at the health Datapalooza. I definitely got the message that I do believe the interoperability, the data interoperability, is in full motion. I think that it's very exciting that it's not just a concept that we were talking about a few years back. It's in motion, and we are actually we do have a lot of customers coming to us wanting to use our software to do de-identification, which is a one step that is a necessary step to protect the privacy of the patient by doing de-identification. And if you want all of your medical records to be de-identified, it cannot be done by humans. So it has to be done through an NLP pipeline, which our de-identification pipeline has been used by many customers, and it's very robust in that process. So we're seeing that happening, but what I saw at the conference was definitely many organizations having the ability to now share data as they need and showing the use cases and showing the ability to actually make better healthcare outcome from their access to other data sets that they weren't able to on a particular set of patients and also population the pop health work that people are doing. It's all very exciting. I do want to mention that I think with that excitement, and I think the quick sort of um, um, push to do more interoperability and data sharing, people have figured out a way to monetize that activity. And sometimes my concern at this point would be that if it has become more for each healthcare organizations to look at their data as something of a monetization tool or path, um, it could lead to abuses, and if there's not enough sort of regulations around how people should consider the data sets, and who actually owns it and who can monetize it, I do think that there could be a concern for abuse.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I think AI is probably the only industry I know of that really is asking for clarity on regulations and asking to be regulated in a way that's unusual. Um, are there any highlights from your session or presentation that you might want to talk about?
Yes. So in my session, I talked about that. Of course, it is not. In terms of responsible AI, given that any adoption of AI models in the healthcare programs, it is illegal to use the AI to unfairly, treat any particular set or population of patients, based on their nationalities, race, gender, sex, age, etc. Overall, what we have developed at Johnson Labs, we have made several tools, open source and free, publicly available to use, and there's one that I talked extensively about is the automated framework that we developed the software to do in terms of testing robustness, biasness, fairness, and toxicity, multiple different type of testing that we do recommend anyone who's building and developing large language models, or are thinking about adopting, to include that open source software into their testing process. The tool is licensed under Apache open source 2.0 license, which makes it very easy for anyone to take the software and customize it and use it for their needs. And the other tool that we have is Generative AI Lab, and that's also a free application that anyone could use it to actually review a document for the non-data scientists to help tune and improve the models if they do see a gap, and that the lang test, which is the testing tool, is also part of Generative AI Lab that can be used together.
So I'm looking at your GitHub repository. You have multiple really cool looking projects up here. It's really, really neat stuff. Also, you're using Spark underneath, which is a tool that I love to use. And it looks like your projects have been updated a minute ago and 7 minutes ago. So it seems like you're super active in open source. I love to hear that. That's great. So thank you for doing that. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
What I want to just mention is that every let's see. So, like you said, we're very, very active in the open source community. Our Spark NLP is an open source NLP tool that is basically one of the most widely adopted NLP packages that's out in any production enterprise use settings today. And a majority of the users are and NLP data scientists that are using it is in the healthcare industry. We continue to invite NLP data scientists in the community to continue to collaborate with us. We are currently simultaneously at this moment running our NLP Summit, which is a virtual event that we run twice a year for all the data scientists to get together and share what we have discovered and invent in the last 6 months. So So we hope that one day you'll be able to join us and give a talk, Fred, at our NLP Summit as well.
Oh, well, thank you. I will remember that invitation, and we will try to put the NLP Summit in our show notes so that we can have a link down below for people to find that. We'll do the same thing with your GitHub repos; those are amazing. But I'm looking at Spark NLP, and there's a lot of really good stuff there. So we'll add some links to the video to direct people to your resources. Linda, I think we're just at time for the interview. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming for Datapalooza. Thank you for working in healthcare. Thank you for reminding me that a Jon Snow reference is probably not about Game of Thrones and healthcare. That's probably something that I need to bear in mind all the time. I really appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Thank you for your time today, too.